Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. We have Carlos Alcaraz versus Lorenzo Musetti for the Roland Garros 2025 semi-final. Before we do get into it though, remember that like button, do subscribe if you're new, and do your rating review if you're listening on a podcast platform. This is a highly anticipated matchup, let's be honest. Two young talents going up against each other who've got great variety, artistry, power, precision. Am I hyping it up too much? Maybe. Maybe. Look, we've got Carlos Alcaraz, world number 2, defending Roland Garros champion. He's been in great form, very good form, extending his winning streak of the tournament to 11 matches, and now his third consecutive semi-final appearance at Roland Garros. We know what he's about. We're not going to talk about it too much. All I'm going to say is he's got a 32-2 record on clay since last May, including wins at Monte Carlo and the Rome Masters this year. And both those matches, he beat Musetti in the final. For Musetti, he's the world number 5 currently in the live rankings. 2024 Wimbledon semi-finalist, of course, and has solidified his status as one of the game's most dangerous players, I think, especially on clay. The Italian has had a great clay court season, as we mentioned. 2 finals, Madrid and also Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo and Rome, and then a semi-final in Madrid where he lost to Jack Draper. So 19-3 record this season on clay. Very impressive. Head-to-head, well, 5-1 in favour of Alcaraz, 3-1 on clay. 2 of those matches, of course, came at Rome and also Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo, Musetti actually took the first set, but then got injured, lost 6-1, 6-love in the next 2 sets. In Rome, he was fit, but lost 6-3, 7-6. They also played at Roland Garros, and Alcaraz beat him in straight sets in 2023. And the one win that Musetti has over Alcaraz on clay was in Hamburg in the final, beat him 6-4, 6-7, 6-4. In terms of tournament form, I'd say Alcaraz has looked slightly better, but he's also had the easier route. He's beat Zeppieri, Marie-Ange, Shelton, and Tommy Paul. I say, is that slightly easier? Maybe. Marie-Ange and Shelton, he beat all in 4 sets. Tommy Paul had an injury, abdominal injury, so maybe not the best yardstick of where Alcaraz's level is at, but he looked good anyway in a 6-love, 6-1, 6-4 win. Musetti beat Hanfman and Galán in straight sets, then Navone, Runa, and TFO all in 4 sets. A lot of talk around whether he was a bit fortunate to not get a default against TFO after kicking a ball to a line judge mistakenly. Line judge looked okay. Look, I mean, there's been a lot of comparisons drawn between himself and Djokovic's situation in 2020, I want to say, or 2019. I'm going to be honest, I don't think either was really a default. I think the problem with Djokovic's situation is that the linesman's reaction or line woman's reaction was very, just a lot more outward, a lot more, there's bigger reaction from her than the line judge at Roland Garros, and hence potentially why that ended up being more of an issue, if I'm being honest. In terms of how this one might play out, in terms of the tactics, there's a few things to talk about. I mean, it's going to be Alcaraz's willingness to be aggressive and to take play versus Musetti's variety and his tennis IQ. Tennis IQ is probably not the right word, because Alcaraz has one of the best tennis IQs in the game from what I've seen. It's just whether he's willing to really dig into that, or he's willing to dig into the entertainment side where he wants to really get the crowd excited rather than maybe the percentage shot that he should be playing at times. But he's been better at it, I think, this clay court season. He's been willing at times to be more patient, play the quote-unquote boring points, knowing that he's going to then have chances to play more extravagant and exciting tennis in periods during matches, especially if he's in front. So, I mean, look, Alcaraz is going to try and be relentless with his aggression, use his athleticism to cover the court and finish points quickly, of course. The serve's been looking good, and he's been very aggressive on return as well, Alcaraz, so that's been a big plus. I mean, Musetti will look to disrupt Alcaraz's rhythm with a lot of variety. We know what he's about. Drop shots, like Alcaraz, but different type of drop shot. Heavy topspin on the forehand wing, and he will vary it up on the backhand. He's got a great drive backhand on the one-hander, great slice. The drop shot, as I mentioned, and on the forehand wing, he also can slice and dice it, and he'll use a lot of different height on the forehand wing. as well. So a higher ball in the forehand, flatter, good angles. He will try and give Alcaraz different looks, different spins, different paces. And ironically, that is, or coincidentally, that's also what Alcaraz does naturally against most opponents. I forgot who it was, but there was an opponent that said, when you play Alcaraz, you don't get two of the same type of shots in a rally. So you could get two forehands, but it might be a heavy topspin forehand and then a flatter forehand. And that's what he was trying to say. So what it means is that it's very hard to get into rhythm against Alcaraz because of that. And I think a lot of people have the same problem with Musetti. Serve's going to be key, I think, and it tends to be very key in the men's game, even on a slow clay court. I think both players have solid serves. Musetti's is much improved, as is Alcaraz's, to be fair. I think Alcaraz's looks slightly better. He's also been very high in the first serve percentage made metrics, which isn't always the best metric to look at because it's not to do with how many serves you made necessarily. It's then also how effective is your first serve after landing those first serves. But he's been effective off those high percentage of first serves made as well, so that's a big positive. Musetti has been pretty good as well, but I'd say the serve is not quite as potent as Alcaraz's. In terms of net play, I think Alcaraz loves to come to the net, but as does Musetti. In fact, I've seen Musetti rushing the net quite a lot during this tournament. And it'll be great to see both players in around the net, playing those shorter points, playing those touch and jab type points that we'll see. And those are the points that you get the highlight reels from. At the net, lob, get back, play from the baseline, back of the net. Those are the epic points that we love to see. Look, I mean, the biggest thing for me is, can Musetti, the variety is all well and good, but is he going to be clinical in those points? And he's going to have to be a bit brave at times and go for a bit more on the forehand and backhand to then finish the points, because Alcaraz, in terms of defensive capabilities, is up there, as we know, as one of the best on tour. Musetti is also able to frustrate opponents, I think, with his defensive capabilities, but there's more of a question, I think, on Musetti's finishing ability in points than Alcaraz's, in my opinion. So it's going to come down, I think, to those points where Musetti is on the front foot. Can he avoid getting dragged into a neutral point with Alcaraz, where Alcaraz then takes over? And a lot of that's going to come down to how willing he is to go close to the lines or go bigger on the forehand and backhand wing, because it's probably not going to be enough to just play the level that we saw against Holger Rune. I think he's going to have to play a level above. And we've seen the Rome and also Monte Carlo finals, and I think it's fair to say that he's going to have to do something a bit different if he wants to get the win in this matchup. Alcaraz is the favourite, in my opinion, and the head-to-head also points towards that. I'm going to go with Alcaraz to win in 4 sets. I think Musetti will take a set, but I don't see him taking more than that. Let's see. I've seen a lot of people talking about Musetti winning the whole tournament. Does he have the level for it? Maybe. If he were to be Alcaraz, then he's definitely the favourite, in my opinion, and it'll be a big, big win. So let's see if he's really up for the task. It's his first ever semi-final at Roland Garros. Let's see what he can do. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think and why. Thanks very much, guys. Stay safe and well, and we'll see you in the next video.